Hey everybody, welcome to the latest episode of The Rock Experience with Mike Brunn. On this episode, I'm excited to have back with me Vincent LaRussa, and we're going to talk all about the upcoming Kiss Cruise, Kiss Cruise 11. I'm going to be on week 2, and I've stayed away from any spoilers from week 1, for the most part that is, so I'm really looking forward to this setting sail in just a couple of days. During this conversation, I'll share some of my insights of some songs I'm hoping the band plays while I'm on the boat. And I'll also share what event on the boat is the one I'm looking forward to most from the past decade that I've been on the ship. Can you take a guess what event that is? I'd love to hear what your thoughts and comments are on that. Alrighty, this is a lot of fun. I know you guys are going to really enjoy it. So let's jump in and let's get started. Hey everybody, welcome to the latest episode of The Rock Experience with Mike Brunn. Today I'm excited to have back with me for the second time in one day. This is a first for us, although I think I'm going to release them on different days. My buddy, my partner in crime, the chemist, Mr. Vincent LaRussa. I want to say, hey buddy, how you doing? But I already know how you're doing because like I said, this is the second episode we're recording today.
Yeah, no, I'm doing the same as you asked me about 20 minutes ago,
Yeah.
which is really well. I'm doing really well. Thank you for asking.
Yes, this has been a weird week for me, in the sense that for the past decade I've been on every Kiss cruise, and yet this year there's 2 of them, and I'm not there this week.
Mm-hmm.
And I have tried up to this point very hard to stay away from pretty much any information about week 1 of the Kiss cruise, because I'm actually leaving tomorrow, and I'd like to go in and have the surprise element as much as possible, so I believe Kiss performed last night on the boat for the first time, in the indoor show. I know absolutely nothing about it. I don't want to know anything about it. When I post this video online, I'm not reading a single comment. Vincent is going to so just out of curiosity, do you know about it?
I mean, I don't know what they performed last night.
Okay,
I saw like there's a couple of posts that they performed X song. I didn't give up a song there, so that wasn't.
So it's not X and sex, okay?
No. But like things like that, I think was the Sail Away show and stuff like that. But
okay.
Yeah, I saw some here and there posts and stuff like that. I saw Bruce did a post, but nothing to the specifics of anything.
Well, it's funny because so far there's only one little nugget that I know about the cruise and set lists, and somebody last night messaged me on Facebook. Hey, Mike, I know you've been asking Bruce for the last year to play King of Hearts on the boat. He did. I'm like, ah. And I was like, well, thanks, but I kind of didn't want to know that yet. But then it was all in good intention. I wasn't the slightest bit upset. There's no way anybody would ever know. And I said to the guy, I said, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Don't tell me anything else. He's like, oh, I'm so sorry. He's like, I just know you championed that song maybe more than anybody. And it was interesting. I'm like, wow, people realize I've been championing that song.
And that person was Bruce Kulick, by the way, who messaged you.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. But
well, I wouldn't be surprised because he has commented a lot on your page and mentioned to you. So he obviously knows who you are. So
yes, he does. And you know what? My quest to have them play this song started on the last cruise, and I ran into Brent and we were just talking, and I was like, oh, great show, blah blah blah. And I was like, when are you guys going to do King of Hearts? He's like, ooh, that's a good one. And he takes out his phone. He's like, I'm putting that in my notes that next year when we rehearse for the cruise, I could bring that up because I think that's a great song that we need to play. And I was like, oh, that's cool. He did that. And I said, all right, well, that's nice, but that'll probably never happen. And then this guy messages me that it did. So that was kind of cool to hear that. But you know, I know there was conversations in the past about the two cruises back-to-back weeks. And I just wish there was a little bit of separation between the two, just a little bit. It does make me feel a little bit like this week, like, hey, it's just going to be a repeat for them next week when I go. But whatever, that is what it is. Nothing's going to change.
Well, I think I know what you mean. Like the first time they go out and do that thing, it's kind of special.
Right.
And not that's going to be like you're not going to enjoy when they play King of Hearts, if they still do, which I think they would.
Right.
But you like to be there for that first experience, where they're, and but the way I would look at it was if I was you, you stayed away from the media or the stuff. You essentially, hopefully that's the only song you know that they're going to do, and whatever Kiss did on the Sail Away and the indoor show. So it's still going to be a new experience, and I don't think it's going to lessen your experience at all, in my opinion. So
I think that once I'm there, I fully agree. And you know what I keep saying, I'm hoping that they do Shandy in the indoor show electric. And if they do, then it won't matter to me if they did it this week and I'm hearing it for the first time next week. It'll
right,
all
exactly.
Good,
exactly.
Because that's always been, as you noticed, that's always been like a top 10 favorite song of mine. I've seen them do it acoustic a number of times. So if they add it to the electric set this year, which I know they were doing in Australia, to use our term, I'll be thoroughly thrilled.
Absolutely. One of the things I did, and I'm sure and I didn't dig deep in this. So Zach Thorne is not playing bass with Bruce's band. Is that correct?
I did not. So like I said, I have not read a single thing. So no, I did not know that.
Oops. Spoiled.
Spoiler alert. Okay.
All right. Well, I think I saw pictures of the, of their band or whatever. He posted some photos, and I saw somebody who I didn't recognize. So I was just curious who that was. Well, so I'll just leave it at that.
That shows you how much I've stayed away from all of this stuff. I did not know that at all. That's very interesting.
So even though I think Zach, at least you won't know who it is. So there's still.
So let me ask you this, and I don't want the answer specific, but will I know who it is when I see them?
You may. I didn't.
Okay.
Because you're a bit more well versed on a lot of the other bands and maybe some lower.
Right.
I don't strike that from the record. I don't mean lower level bands. That's hard.
I know what you mean.
But you know what I mean.
Not the A-list Motley Crue, Guns N' Roses, those kind of guys.
Yeah.
The
Who
next level
achieved a certain level of success. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Right.
No,
so that's what I mean.
Anybody who knows you meant absolutely no disrespect by that. So don't sweat that at all. I also had somebody say to me, and I don't want you to comment on this because you probably know if this is true or not. Somebody texted me literally the first day the cruise left. Kiss just announced they're doing another cruise next year. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Really?
I mean, I don't even know that.
Okay. Good.
But I could comment on it because
comment on it then if you don't know.
I know one of the big reasons why you were going to go on this cruise was it's the final, and I think I've been very skeptical of that in the past. Yes. Doesn't surprise me. That's all I'll say. And if anything, does this mean that they're going to go further into next year touring?
Well, look, there's been these, Gene said, there's going to be another 100 shows announced. And it's funny because last week, my daughter, who's not going with me on the cruise for the first time in 10 years, said to me, do me a favor, when you come home from the cruise, don't be all excited about it. Don't talk about it in front of me, because she's really disappointed she's not going to be there. And this was before week 1 started. And I said to her, don't worry. There's going to be other cruises. Kiss will be there. So this is not going to be the final Kiss cruise. I know they said it is. I said, and I'm convinced Kiss will maybe not perform on the boat, but maybe they'll perform on the islands that the boat is going to, so that they don't have to be on a boat for a week. They could just fly in an island, do a show, fly out. Because Six Man has been very particular with the way they said it, saying this is the last time Kiss is going to perform on the seas, on the high seas or whatever, So it'll be interesting. I just felt like if that story is true, and the person who texted me is a good friend of mine, I have no reason to believe that he.
Do I know this person?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
Yes, my friend Ed. My friend Ed
Okay.
texted me. There's
Okay.
no reason for him
Oh,
to.
so he wasn't there. He just heard. He
Yeah,
heard in the.
it seemed like he read it online. He's like, "Hey, Kish just announced there's going to be another cruise next year." Now I
You're
don't know
like,
if he was pulling my leg. I don't know if he was
yeah.
pulling my leg. I didn't ask because again, I didn't want to know. But
Mm,
my first thought was, man, if they did that the first day of week one to announce there's going to be another cruise next year, I feel like I've been baited a little bit here,
mm,
like the bait and
mm.
switch a little bit. I hate to say that, but
Well, how did they originally pose this? Didn't they say? Oh, okay. They said this the last time they're gonna. This their last cruise. Like, what was the wording they
So it
used?
was the last cruise. Yes, that's what they said was the last
Right.
cruise, and that's what led to a whole bunch of demands for the cruise, which is why they added the second week, which is really week one.
Mm-hmm.
And they let those of us who were on the cruise already stay on the second week if we wanted to be at the final show on the boat, and
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, if before I even get on the boat, if I know that that's not true, nah. You know?
I get it. I mean, look, I think knowing the way you are with this stuff, you know what I'm gonna predict already.
Yes, I know what you're going to predict.
Excuse me.
Good
Um,
old for Clint.
yeah. Sorry. Um, but say it is just an island performance. Would you
Mhm.
go?
You
Sorry.
know, I said to my wife a couple of weeks ago that I feel like I'm ready to do different vacations. It's been 10 years of
Right.
this. The draw for me is always the deep cuts. And like I said, I'm hoping to do Shandy this year.
Right.
In terms of the 70s, there's not really many more songs from the 70s that they could do that they haven't done on these cruises yet. So the draw starts to get a little weaker and weaker for me to begin with. I'm assuming they're going to be doing it out of California, so I got to fly across the country. I know I've said it before, but I'm going to say it again. This will probably be my last one.
Right. Right. Yeah.
It's just, I think, my daughter can't go. She's a school teacher now, so she'll always be working during that time. Um, my wife is completely indifferent. You know that she likes Kiss, but she doesn't need to be on a cruise for 10 years straight with them.
Right.
So,
Right.
so I kind of feel like it's run its course a little bit. But I've said that before. So who the hell knows? Who the
Yeah.
hell knows? Um,
Well, I mean, I think you'll get a sense too. I mean, listen, you going on this one, how much enjoyment you have when you come back, you know, what
yeah.
the feeling you have,
Well,
you
let
know?
me say this. I always have thoroughly enjoyed it. Whenever I'm there, it's always a 10 out of 10 experience for me. Always, always, always enjoy it. So I just have to caution myself to not come back on the Kiss Cruise high and be like, I'm doing it again. I'm doing it again. Cause that's
Mm,
what I think sometimes happens. But
yeah.
now saying that, if they do another one and people who are watching this haven't been on one, I couldn't recommend it enough that you have to try it at least once. If you're a Kiss fan and you haven't done a Kiss Cruise, you have to go.
Hmm.
Because I just think you were on the one time. So I mean,
Yeah.
you had fun, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, look, it's a great experience. You know, you're walking around the boat, you're hearing the Kiss music. I saw somebody posted a picture of I guess one of the bands were performing,
Okay.
and she was like in back of it said, you know, somebody's standing in my way, and it was like Paul Stanley.
Oh,
Clearly, you see the hat.
okay,
Yeah,
right.
you know what I
Uh-huh.
mean? It's like, and he was just off to the side, you know, of
Mhm.
wherever they were. It looks like it might have been on the, you know, where they play out on the deck or whatever they call it.
Yep. The pool deck.
Yeah, pool deck. He was like kind of off the side.
Mhm.
You know, I remember when I was on the cruise, I don't know who I saw and like moseying around in the lobby or whatever. It was like either Eric Singer, Tommy Thayer. You know,
Right.
they would just walk around the boat and stuff like that. I mean, where else are you going to get those experiences?
Exactly.
You know. So, and then all the other stuff that they do, all the activities they have.
Yes.
You know, dating game with this one, and you know,
Right.
whatever
This
trivia,
time I think they're doing
Jeopardy.
tea time with Tommy Thayer, which I thought was about time because he's a big golfer. How could they have
Yeah.
missed that one for the last 10 years? So
Right. Yeah. So those kind of experiences are awesome. And then, oh wait, who are the bands that are also on the ship?
right. Yeah.
You know, they always try to have like some top notch, you
Absolutely.
know, bands, and then you just get to see a lot of younger bands who maybe you didn't know, and then you become fans of a new, you know, uh, generation of music,
Yeah.
younger generation, which is great too.
Yeah. And in the week I'm going, I'm looking forward to seeing Sisters Doll, which we saw back in the
Mhm.
spring, I guess, with Peter Chris, right?
Yeah.
They've got a new single out that I really like, and you know, I've always said I enjoy their music, so I'm looking forward to
Hmm.
that. Yeah, I'm trying to remember who the main support acts. I think there's Black Label Society is one of the acts. Of course, Bruce Kulick is going to be there. So at the end of the day, that's all that I really need. Bruce and Kiss, and I'm good.
Hmm.
Forgetting who one of the other. There's another bigger support act that's going to be on also. Oh, Buck Cherry, Buck Cherry,
Hmm.
who I've gone to see as well.
Hmm.
So it's going to be a solid lineup, and I know it's going to be a great weekend. You know, like I said, if I look at the indoor show and hoping that they play some deep cuts, I'd like to hear Shandy. Um, See You in Your Dreams would be nice to see Gene sing that. Maybe even like
Hmm.
a Rockin' in the USA type of thing. Of course, for 10 Cruises, I've been praying that they do Tomorrow from the Unmasked album. I've given up. I know it's never going to happen. So
Hmm.
that would be the one thing if they keep doing these cruises and I don't go. And then they're like, all right, now we're going to do Tomorrow. I'll be like, you'd hear me
Yeah. Yeah.
from, you'd hear
Yeah.
me. Look, what do we live like 50 miles apart from each other? You'd hear
Yeah.
me from your house. Mom,
I know.
and you'd be like, oh, Kiss play Tomorrow. I hear
Yeah.
Brunn.
Yeah. Yeah.
That'd be the
Absolutely.
one thing, but I'm not sure that that can convince me enough to go. But
Hmm.
yeah, it'll be interesting to see, you know, if this is the last one, what it's like, and what it's like with them doing the back-to-back cruises.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, I'm sure they're going to give, every band's going to give every bit of 100% or plus of their
Yep,
performances, try to make the fans feel like they're special, even if
yep,
it's the second time around. It's like a band who does a 100 city tour or whatever they're doing, every
sure,
night they're giving it everything they got, talking to the crowd as if, they're the most special. You've how many times you've been, I've been to this many cities and this has got to be the best city,
of
and,
course. Yeah.
I mean, you know, they'll do their thing, but yeah, I'm sure it's going to be a great cruise, and you'll get great performances by all these acts, and
Yep, yep. And you know, you mentioned
you'll,
before the different activities that the band does. Stanley's doing this year songs and stories. And to me, now that is exciting to hear. And I'm actually hoping he does a different, I'm sure it won't be, but if he did a different songs and stories on each of the two cruises and somebody records one on the first one and I can see that, you know, I love
hmm.
hearing the stories behind the songs, and how they
Hmm.
came to be, etc. So probably of all the different events, like Tea Time with Tommy Thayer is cool, Drum Off with Eric Singer is cool, but the one that I will make sure absolutely I do not miss is the songs and stories with Paul Stanley, because that to me is
Hmm.
right to the heart of what I love about doing these kind of things. I
Hmm.
want to hear that type of stuff.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the stuff as fans that we really, at this point when we know so much about the band, we still know there's a lot of unknown information out there.
Right.
I mean, how many times have you heard an interview, especially by Gene and Paul, and you've heard them respond to answers the same way you've heard, because
That's a
people
big,
don't
big
ask.
word like gymnasium.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
B- So yeah, anytime we get any nugget of like new info, or the creative process, especially for these
Yes.
songs that we've listened to and loved for so many years, it's always very exciting.
Yeah.
So,
And I wish, and I know that this won't happen, he'll probably talk about, like, let's say, oh, when I wrote Love Gun, we were flying to Japan. I'm like, boo, I know that story. I know that story. You know, I
yeah.
wish he would give a story about I don't know, when he wrote Creatures of the Night, right? Because I haven't
Hmm.
heard the background behind that one that I could recall.
Hmm.
When I wrote Who Wants to Be Lonely, right? I'm not going
Hmm.
crazy deep here. I mean, there's still songs that were popular, but I would hope that he would dig a little bit into the catalog. But either way, like if
Hmm.
he's like, oh, this is what it was like when this is what how I wrote I Want You. All right, take me or whatever. Those would be cool to hear.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he'll stay away from certain songs, who, depending on who the co-writer is. I'm not going to mention any names because he
Hmm.
probably doesn't want to, whatever, talk about those particular tunes.
Hmm.
I don't know how many songs he's going to talk about,
Yeah.
but
And it's not
you
clear to
know,
me if the fans are going to be able to ask. I don't think so. Or if he's going to come in with like a
yeah.
pre-existing list of songs and hey, I'm going to talk about these 7 songs, 10 songs in the next hour, whatever it is. But
Hmm.
whatever the case may be, that's probably of all the events across the 10 cruises, I'm trying to think if there's an event that I've been more excited to go see than that. And I think the answer might be no.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
to me
No,
is a cool event.
yeah.
I'd
Yeah.
much rather see that than bedtime stories with Paul, even though that's been funny when he's did it,
Yeah.
but all
Yeah.
right, I've seen
Yeah.
it twice. It was funny. Give me the stories about the songs.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally agree with you on that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. So do you regret not being able to go? I know I offered for you to come with me for free.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, it's, I was bound by contract with the, that wasn't a real contract, but, I do appreciate that. It was very generous of you, but previous obligations to be performing, I felt I couldn't do that to my bandmates. Wouldn't
Mhm.
be fair. As much as I would have loved to have been there and get that opportunity. Do I have a regret? Yeah, I mean, look, I would love to be there, but I also know that you're gonna be upload man, you know what I mean? So I know every juicy nugget of info. I might not get it right at that particular moment,
Mhm.
but I'll be thoroughly throwed. That's
Well,
thoroughly throwed,
let's
you
say
know.
this,
Yeah.
assuming for a moment that they do the same indoor set on cruise one and cruise two, you may see the performances before I do, right? If somebody who's on week
Meaning,
one uploads
right.
videos from week one, and let's just pretend they did, I don't know, pick a
And that was
song.
last night.
I think last night was the first one, and then tonight's the second indoor show, right?
Yeah.
But they're back on land on Saturday morning, right? Which
Okay.
is when we go on the boat for week two. So when they get back on land, let's just pretend they did "See You in Your Dreams," right? I said that song
Right.
before. Somebody's gonna upload it on Saturday when they get home, and you'll
Hmm.
be watching it before I get to see it.
That's
So
true. I guess I
this will be a cruise where you get to experience maybe some of the little nuggets before I do.
Yeah, and I quite honestly haven't been like out there searching for the stuff, and I'm sure I could watch stuff on the Bruce Kulick set and some other stuff.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people are saying, "Where's Brunn's footage?" You know what I mean? Where the hell
uh,
is it? Because
uh,
they don't know that you're. Well, now
I'm
they're
not
finding
there.
out,
Right, right, right.
right? But
If I
so
didn't have a new job, and my wife and I were talking about this about 10 days ago, if I didn't have a brand new job, I probably would have been on both weeks this year.
interesting.
And
Yeah.
in part because the first week, which was the second one that went on sale, that first week did not sell that well. And what
Mm,
they did is they offered about 6 weeks ago, anybody who bought a ticket for the cruise would get tickets to both indoor shows.
mm,
That to me is nice.
yeah.
Really nice. And that's why I kind of on the front of my mind at the beginning of this conversation is if they are doing more cruises next year. The reason I stayed on the second one in part was because I wanted to be at the last show on the cruise, which
Yeah.
I'm at. If they're gonna do more cruises, that's all fine and good. I would have probably transferred on to number one, got two shows instead of one, less, half the people.
Right.
I probably would have enjoyed that experience more. So if I started off a little bitter, maybe that's why. But yeah, again, I don't know if that rumor is true. And when I post
Right.
this, I'm not going to read the comments until I'm back. You
Right.
guys are all welcome to comment, but I'm staying away for all the
Right.
reasons I just said before. I want to get on
Right.
that cruise and be, although I'm going to guess I'm going to walk onto the boat and somebody's going to tell me within 2 seconds, probably. I might not even
Yeah.
be on the boat
You
before I
gotta go
find
la
out.
la la
Yeah,
la la la.
exactly.
What'd you say? La la la. You like just
That's
block
right.
people out. Yeah.
I'm going to get to the dock that morning. And people are going to be probably talking about the set list and all of my efforts
You
to stay
mean
away from this stuff.
when you say get to the Doc McGee? You have
Oh,
an
of course,
appointment
yeah,
with him?
yeah. I'm gonna have a.
Right. Yeah.
I am hoping to maybe connect and see if I can get him back on the show after this year's cruise.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I had him on last year after the cruise. That would be nice. But
Hmm.
I'm also out of town for most of November, so we'll see if I can pull that off and make that happen. So
Right. Right.
but we'll see. But we'll have to do a wrap up when I get back, buddy, and we'll have to see how my experience there compares to what we just spoke about right now.
Absolutely. I know it's going to be favorable.
It always is.
I know it'll be favorable. I
We
mean,
know that.
spoiler alert. Spoiler
Well,
alert.
well, my mind is if you're a Kiss fan, how can you go on this and not have a good time?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Even if it's stuff that you've heard before, whatever it is, it's just the atmosphere and the camaraderie you have with people who you get to see that once a year, who you become friends with.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just the whole thing, that whole experience,
agreed. I'll put it to you this way. In that environment, if Kiss even did Boomerang, I'd probably be excited.
Exactly.
You
You said it. Yeah.
I'm
Right.
like, oh wow, I've never heard this before. What
Right.
the hell?
Right.
So and who knows? Maybe Bruce put it in his set, and don't say it. I
Yeah.
don't want to know,
Yeah.
but maybe Bruce put it in his set this year, and I'll be like, all right, here's one I never thought I'd say. And look, when we went the year together, and they did, what was it, Burn Bitch Burn? You're like,
Burn. Yeah.
this is a very mediocre song that sounds freaking incredible live. Holy
Right. Right.
crap,
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
who knows? So
Yeah.
we'll see when I get back. But like you said, I'm sure it'll be favorable.
I agree.
All right, buddy. Well, I think that's enough of our pre-Kiss Cruise talk. I will see you guys all in a little over a week. And until then.
Pulp Fiction, Ringo.
Pulp Fiction Ringo. There's a new one. Pulp Fiction Ringo. All righty. Later, everybody.
All righty. There you have it. Less than 24 hours from now, I'll be flying out to California, heading out on Kiss Cruise 11, Week 2. I know it's going to be a lot of fun. It always is. And I look forward to sharing my experience as well as my videos and anything else once I get back. See you guys all in a week. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit that subscribe button below. If you're listening to one of my podcasts, subscribe over there as well. Also, head on over to Facebook and follow my page, The Rock Experience with Mike Brunn, where each and every day we talk about all the rock and roll music that you love. You could also follow me on Instagram and Twitter as well. That's it for this episode. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. See you all next time.